There's about 3 weeks to go before students take off for the summer, but already there are questions about the start of the next school year in September. That's because four of the five major teachers and education unions have requested the start of bargaining with the government ahead of their contracts expiring at the end of August. The unions say they want one thing: higher salaries, and they're not willing to rule out the possibility of a strike.
We're looking for the ability to address the cost of living.
We need to look at the wages of education workers.
Teachers and education workers haven't had a raise of more than 1% in 3 years. That's because wages were restricted by Bill 124. That legislation caps compensation for public sector workers, but that's set to end this year for the education sector. And the unions, they say they're looking for a hike of more than 1%.
Certainly, the cost of living has gone up substantially. So yes, absolutely, we'd like to see something that acknowledges that.
How much more?
We couldn't put a number on it, and of course that would be subject to bargaining.
Whether or not they'll be able to get what they want isn't clear. Sources tell CityNews the government has yet to decide on any mandates. But if the Premier's comments from a week and a half ago were any indication, negotiations could be tricky.
I'm going to work with the head of the unions and get the best deal for the taxpayers, number one.
People need to remember that education workers are taxpayers too. So if we're looking to get the best deal for taxpayers, I guess that means that we're looking to get the best deal for education workers.
We'll sit down and have a fair negotiation with the head of the teachers union.
We're hoping that the Premier will follow through on what he said, that he's willing to support education. And, sometimes you have to pay for what you get.
There are going to be people watching this. They're going to say, wait a minute, we see so many more teachers on the sunshine list making more than $100K a year. Teachers are paid pretty good. Why do they want more money? What would you say to that?
We need to have education funded as an investment. We need to be valuing the profession. We have a lot of shortages right now, and we are unable to fill many of the vacancies that are existing.
The Ford government arguably had a poor relationship with unions over the prior 4 years, with teachers staging various strikes and work-to-rule campaigns. Of course, there's one big thing top of mind for students and parents, and that is a strike possible in the fall? The unions aren't ruling it out.
What parents need to know is that strikes are not made by just unions alone. And they can be avoided. They can be avoided by having good conversation, coming to the table and recognizing what parties need. If it's a strike, if we move into that position, that's because, the government and the school boards are not, recognizing what we're fighting for, which is ensuring the services that our students and our families rely upon.
Now, government sources tell me their main focus is to make sure kids do stay in the classroom. The big unknown here, of course, is who the education minister is. Will Stephen Lecce continue on in that role? The union leaders tell me they'd like to see someone new, but the Premier hasn't made up his mind yet. We understand Ford is set to name his new cabinet at some point in the next 7 days.